Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Bitcoin obviously did break out of this so-called ascending wedge in the last few days and mentioned to you in the last video that I'm not convinced that the rally that we've had since then, the small rally, was necessarily a breakout rally. Of course it could be. I'm not convinced because the move to the downside was a bit shallow. Not too shallow necessarily, but because we hit the 23.6% Fibonacci retracement, which is here at 20,400 basically. And that's actually enough for such a wave 4, yeah? For anybody who's new here, this wave 4 is the one that we've been waiting for a few days now. And it's finally happening, and it's based on the wave 4 length. Here, the wave 3 length. The wave 3 started end of December here at a price of around 16,350. Since then, we've obviously had that massive rally, and we are now consolidating and correcting down in probably this wave 4. Now, we had quite an impulsive move down. I currently count that only as the A wave, highlighted here in green. An A wave is the first wave of such a corrective pattern like this wave 4. I might actually put that here in white, then you can see it better. So it's the first wave because corrections happen in 3 waves. Understand there are different corrective wave patterns. There are many corrective wave patterns available, and therefore it is sometimes very difficult, if not impossible, to say in the beginning of a correction what kind of wave pattern it will be. Of course, there are certain probabilities. Yeah, you could say that in certain waves, in certain waves, the corrective patterns could rather be a triangle. In other waves, you don't normally see a flat pattern, like in a wave 2, for example. A running flat is very rare. Things like that. Okay, so we look at this structure here. And at the moment, we came down quite impulsively, which of course could say, okay, we came down impulsively. We had also a small 5-wave move to the upside off the low here, which happened on the 18th of January. So let me go to the 30-minute chart. We say we had a small 5-wave rally here up. So it could technically be that the wave 4 is finished, but that move down for me didn't have enough structure. It's possible, but a wave 4 is normally very long. A wave 4 is a bit boring. Taking that into account, and taking into account that what we've seen so far looks like a 3-wave structure to the upside, makes me think that the wave 4 is not yet over, and likelihood would suggest that we are looking at the 38.2% Fib level rather than the 23.6. As you can see here, the 38.2 is around 19,640. That is the more likely target for a 4th wave. So we have to go with probabilities, and as soon as we see 5 waves up on a relevant time frame and break above the $21,700 level, that high from the 18th of Jan, then we can say that probably the low was in. But if you trade, you don't necessarily want to wait for that, right? So that's why we've got these support areas. If we take a look at the price structure of the low, we can say, if we assume that we still see a deeper wave 4, then my preference would be that we are now in this B wave. So we've done a wave A to the downside as part of the wave 4. We're now doing a B wave. Yeah. And then we could still see a C wave down. What I cannot rule out is that we're doing a triangle. I talked about that in the last video, but oh no, it's not broken above that high, so the triangle option will get very unlikely. However, it could just be a normal B wave or even WXY, depending on what happens down here now. I already gave channel members yesterday here a target area for a B wave, just to highlight what would be a realistic target for such a B wave. It doesn't need to get there necessarily, but it's certainly a possibility, and it's based on the length of the A wave here in yellow, which is the subwave structure of the white B wave. So the A wave, then we came down in a B wave, and now you're looking at the ideal target range for a C wave. Now the 61, I have highlighted the target area up here between the 1-to-1 ratio and the 1.618 extension, knowing that a B wave can overshoot. It can overshoot, so the 1.618 extension here would not be off the table. Let me just adjust those fibs here slightly. I might have just, one second, let me just do that again. So take the length of the A wave, go to the low of the B wave. Did I set it here? Ah. Okay, I might need to shift that just slightly. It might have moved. So target would be between 21.4 and 21.88k, which doesn't mean it needs to get there definitely, but it's sort of the area that we need to expect. Yeah, just to highlight that this could become quite a bit of a FOMO rally before we come down again in a C wave in white. We have already reached, and note that please, we have already reached the 61.8% extension of the A wave. That is normally the first target for a C wave. It is a rare target, but it's possible. So we've already been rejected from there. However, because of likelihoods and what you would normally expect is that you go a bit higher here. Could get this, so it could be that what we've seen here so far was only the A wave, A, B, C, and the C wave could still push a bit higher. Or we even have a WXY, depending on how the structure eventually will look like of this move up. But that's not so important. What is more important is to understand this could without a problem still go higher, and it doesn't mean, even if it overshoots the previous high, it doesn't mean it needs to be already the fifth wave to the upside, okay? It could just still be part of the wave 4. And note, however, that we have reached the 61.8% extension, plus we are holding currently below this ascending wedge. So you could argue that what we're doing at the moment is we're just getting rejected from that trend line. We're just retesting and we're getting rejected, and we could now be heading down in a C wave. If we now stop and will not break above 21,224 again, the last swing high, we could argue we've got a wave C starting here, and that this was already here small 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we've got a first wave of the fifth wave of the C wave complete, and it could start to look like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the C wave. That's possible. A bit too early to confirm that. If we now break the last swing low, that would be a good confirmation at 20,875. But also don't be surprised if we get into this region, but only a break above that is meaningful would indicate that here a substantial low has been made. It would though be a very, very shallow wave 4, which I can't rule out, but in all likelihood it would suggest we go down a bit lower. You also could argue that what we're doing here is some kind of a bearish flag. So if you take a look at that, strong move down, and now we are sort of in this upward sloping channel, which also looks a bit like an ascending wedge in itself, doesn't it? So that's something that would also normally break out to the downside. Let's see. I hope you liked the update about Bitcoin. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And if you're interested, check out our trading course on morecryptoonline.com. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.